All right, shalom to the 12 tribes, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the Father and the Son in the Paleo Hebrew tongue. Shalom to all the brothers and sisters out there trying to live out the word and the faith and the truth and in sincerity. So today's going to be a quick lesson. I've seen a few other brothers do similar lessons on this in the recent past. And I've already made multiple lessons on this before in the past, probably 4 or 5 years. But I felt through the spirit that I should do another one as people are coming into the truth or gaining more knowledge in the truth. And many people have reached out to me and said, oh, I've seen this post or I've gone back and seen this video, whatever the case may be. And I feel convicted like I should be doing more to prepare for all the things to come. So that being the case, decided to do this lesson, and I can't see the title of the lesson, but it basically says preparing for the end times, I believe, right? So the first thing I'll say is that conviction, when people feel convicted, troke boa, shalom, hope all is well with you and your household. And you know what? Let me say this real quick too. This brother was able to, all thanks to the Most High, was able to baptize a sister recently, um that she's actually from the other side of the world, right? She's from, like, man, I can't even remember where she said she was from. I believe New Zealand or the Netherlands, or somewhere way out there. New Zealand. So all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, that was able to happen, right? um but yeah, so conviction will be shown through, what do you think, through your words?
Nah, conviction is shown through your actions, man.
So conviction will be shown through your actions, and it's going to be shown through your lifestyle, and by how you are going to change your lifestyle. See, because a lot of people say they feel convicted by the Most High, but in reality, they just feel guilty, right? Conviction is something that's in your heart, and it makes you change.
It can be a good thing,
right? Of course, it could definitely be a good thing, right? Um, Khan, the brother said, showed me the Lord's will is always done. Praises and glory be to him. Khan.
Praise to the Most High. No matter what, it's always gonna happen, whether we like for it to or not.
Khan, for better or for worse, his will is always gonna happen, right? And it's always for the betterment of his will. But guess what? It's for worse for a lot of people that don't want to try and go along with his will, right? So conviction is going to be shown through your lifestyle, and a lot of people see what's coming or believe what's coming, specifically talking about, societal collapse, the dollar collapsing, famine, all the things that are in Second Ezra's 14, 15, 16, everything that's in Luke 21, Matthew 24, and Jeremiah 30. There's so many different chapters and scriptures we could read, but we're going to speak more specifically now on preparing for it, right? So if you want to go ahead and read that out.
It's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished.
So a prudent man, someone who is looking towards the future, is going to foresee see what happens before it happens. Okay. And he's going to do what? Hide himself, or prepare to hide himself in those days. Right. And it's like, I don't know if you saw that brother, Jonathan's house had posted not too long ago, like, how smart is it going to be going out and trying to get food when there's already a famine happening, right? It's not going to be wise whatsoever. It's going to be like in World War Z, when Brad Pitt and his rib were trying to get food.
Yep.
And look how the store was. Look what almost happened to his rib.
Man, you gonna mess around and almost die in a situation like that.
So it's better to be as prepared as you possibly can. Now, anytime I say that, there's always going to be certain brothers or sisters, well, I can't prepare, or I don't know, if I don't have the means to do so, right? I'm not telling you you got to have 40 acres and a mule and grow 20 acres of food and all this other stuff, right? It's like I've told this brother before, and I told many other brothers before, in the days of Noah, it's better to have some type of flotation device
Something.
if you don't have an ark,
Something.
right? You got to have something. So wherever you're at in life, you can start preparing in whatever way you can with whatever means you can.
I saw a post one time recently where it said, "Don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do." Because there's always something you can do. It's just all about your perspective.
Con, for sure. If you want to get a Ciroc 715, Ciroc 715. And the thing is, a lot of people make excuses and stuff like that. But one question I'll always ask people when they tell me they don't have the means or the money to do so is, okay, so a lot of people are hooked on coffee, right?
Yeah.
I'll start with that. I'll be like, okay, so how much coffee you drink this week? Oh, I'll get one every day before work, whatever. Okay, how much does that cost? Some people go to Starbucks. That's a little too
expensive.
It's too expensive for me, right? But say they spend $5 a day on coffee. Okay, that's $5. If you go to work 5 times a week, that's 25. That's already $100 worth of coffee in 1 month. That's $1,200 a year. Imagine if you were saving all that. That's just coffee. Then I've talked to brothers that, I don't have a rib, so I eat out for every meal. So you're talking about $10 on the low side, right? $10 a meal.
On the low end, yeah.
On the low, let's just go with the low end.
By yourself.
Yeah, $10 a meal. That's $30 a day. That's $150 a week. Yeah. That's $600 a month.
Damn.
So imagine if you were saving that or putting it towards something, right? Those moringa trees that I got are $10 each. Yep. You could eat moringa trees. You could eat the stem. You could eat the seeds. You could eat the leaves.
You can make tea out of it.
You can make tea. You can make powder out of it, right? $10 a tree. Okay, that huge. I got a eucalyptus. How many feet tall do you think that is?
At least like 10, 11,
okay.
10, 11 feet tall.
Maybe a 10-foot eucalyptus tree I just got last week, and it was $30. Okay, so the point is, I could go on and on and on, but the point is we always can do more than we give ourselves credits for in most cases. Mm-hmm. And it's just like when we work out and stuff. When my cousin was here last week, and we were all doing a 5-minute plank, and me, this brother, y'all, and my son, who's getting ready for the rodeo, we all did the 5-minute plank, and every 30 seconds you do 10 push-ups, which equals 100 push-ups. I told my cousin afterwards, I was like, hey, when you're done, you're really only like, your body is only like halfway done. You could go twice as much, right? So a lot of times the things that hold us back is actually all mental. It's not physical.
It really is, man, because when I used to play football, my coach, he would make us do a burnout workout on the bench press. And the thing is when you start pumping, right, you got all this energy and stuff, he wouldn't start counting until your arm started burning. When your arm started burning, you want to put it up, that's when he'll grab it and he'll make you keep going and say, nope, now we can start building muscle. He said, it's where you start building muscle at. But just to go along with what the brothers say, there's always more that you can do. It's just mental. That's all it is. Perspective. This is Sirach, chapter 7 and verse 15. It says, hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained.
So it says not to hate hard work. And most men that I've met, at least speaking from personal experience, hate any type of hard work. Right? And that's why you're not supposed to judge by looks, but I've said many times before, normally when you shake a man's hand, if you could feel how soft their hands are and stuff, that tells a lot about them.
So do.
Right? So it says, hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, because the Most High has ordained it. So the Most High has ordained husbandry. Husbandry is the growing and raising and tending to crops or to animals. Okay, so for those of you who follow me on Instagram, I just posted we got 30 chicks the other day. It was less than $150 for 30 chicks. The breed that we got lays 250 to 300 eggs a year.
Per chicken.
Okay, so let's say again, low end 250. Okay, 250, and let's say 20 of them are hens, which we got 20 that were already sexed as females. The other 10 were unsexed, so it's probably going to be about 5 and 5 roosters, 5 hens, which we just eat the roosters.
Yep.
Or save one of them maybe. But let's say 20 of them are hens. Let's say they lay 250 eggs a year per hen. 250 times 2 is 500. So that means on the low end, they'll be laying 5,000 eggs a year.
That's a good problem to have if you ask me.
That's a good problem. Exactly. But the point that I'm making is if you learn husbandry and you take care of some chicks for 5 or 6 months, 5 to 7 months, depending on the breed, okay? 6 months on average, and then you'll have 5,000 eggs a year. So costing $150. Obviously, you're gonna pay for food and bedding and stuff like that, but you're gonna save so much money on buying food. And when there's no food, guess what? At least you have eggs.
And you don't gotta go run to the store and try to buy some when it ain't none.
And also, like I said, okay, it's like the brother following Yeshua had said, right? And I always kept this in mind, even though I heard him say it years, probably 2, 3 years ago. He said you can only store up so much food and you can only grow so much food. So what he does is he stores calories and he grows nutrition, right? So for example, if I got basil, cilantro, spearmint, and then other things like herbal lemongrass and citronella. What else is over there? I got some cherry trees.
Yeah, you got cherry. You got a papaya?
Amaranth.
Yep.
And then moringa. Those are all going to give you more nutrition.
Yep.
Right. That's more nutrition. But when have you ever heard of somebody die of malnutrition? It's very, very rare. Right. What you normally hear them die of is famine, hunger, starvation. Right. So storing up certain things that would be good is going to be things that are more calorie dense, right? Beans and rice. That's two of the main things we store. Pasta, obviously water.
I remember ever since you had first told me about that too. That's the approach I've been taking about it anyway. Just go buy the calories while you still got the luxury to do so. Grow it and practice growing in the midst of all this. So then when everything comes, you know what I'm saying, you got food. If you know what I'm saying, you got to grow calories after that. Because I know growing like potatoes and stuff like that, it take way longer than growing nutritious things. Like squash grows faster than potatoes. But at least you got stuff that you can eat in the meantime while you waiting.
Shalom. Yohanatan from Yohanatan's house. I just mentioned you before you hopped on here, the brother had said something along the lines of it's not going to be smart to be going into stores or trying to go out to buy food once there's very little food and famine set in and people are going crazy, right?
That's that sheep mentality or that herd mentality.
Jomar, shalom, shalom, peace, boss. Oh, every different way you could say it, right? I'm probably going off according to brothers right now though, but it's all good. So getting back to what I was saying, if you can grow, let's say you have a small property, right? I've talked to some brothers. I think he said he had like an eighth of an acre, a fourth. I think he said an eighth of an acre, right?
Make it shake.
You can grow a lot in just that little amount, even in 5-gallon buckets. If you've seen the brother AZL, do you know what his name is on Instagram? I know it's AZL something.
It's AZL _ something.
Okay, AZL.
It start with a Y, I think.
Yeah, I'm following him on Instagram if y'all want to check out his page. And that brother was growing, I don't even know how many of the 5 gallons.
He had the eggplants in there, didn't he?
He had some beautiful eggplants in the 5 gallons.
They look real healthy.
They were big. They were healthy, right? If you can do a lot with very little, right? You would be surprised. But again, going back to what we were reading, actually, if you want to get, is it 10 and 30? The poor man's honored for his skill. Sirach 10:30, I think. Or is it 30:10?
10. It's 10:30.
Okay, Khan, go ahead.
This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 30. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches.
Okay, Tawada. He just posted the brothers.
I thought that's what it was.
Okay, it's AZL Yisrael.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
That's the brother. He grows crops as well, and I believe he grows crops on other properties as well for people, right? Yeah. He also does all type of contractor work.
Him and his granddaddy and stuff be partnering with the crops too.
Khan. So the brother just read, was it Sirach 10:30?
Yeah.
10:30. It says the poor man is honored for his skill. Okay, poor people, and we're not talking spiritually poor, right? We're talking about
Physical.
obviously physically poor. Me, compared to other people, some people would think that I'm physically poor, even though
Shit, no.
for the area that I'm living in, I'm probably average or maybe a little bit above average. But compared to other areas, like say in California, New York, I wouldn't even be able to make it off of the income that I make.
Shit. I mean, if we judging financially, yeah, you can say that. But
Con,
if you want to look at real wealth, though, you got things that's gonna keep you alive, bro.
wisdom. We got family.
Food,
We got protection. We got
everything.
food. We got the ability to be more self sustaining than the majority of people.
Mutual assistance.
Con, and that's being humble. But what I'm saying, I'm being trying to be humble saying this, but I'm saying when we look at wealth, right, it should be judged off of how much you can live off of what the Most High has given you,
Mm-hmm.
and a big part of that is skill,
Yeah.
right? A huge part of that is skill. Um, oh, the water, Ak, I appreciate it. The brother had posted it up.
Was it Rock 10?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Jomar said their biggest toronkas right now. What's his biggest toronkas, Ak? Toronka's a grapefruit.
Oh, grapefruit.
Con.
I know Jomar been growing that stuff back there too, man. I seen you growing like radishes and stuff like that.
Con. Can you get Sirach 38:6?
Con.
I'm gonna read this one more time. This is Sirach 10:30. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. So now I'm gonna ask you, brothers, this, right? And you could either answer in the comments, or you could just, kind of self-examine yourself and answer on your own to yourself, right? Do you brothers have the knowledge or the skills to guide your family through like Book of Eli or Walking Dead type of scenario? Like, do you really think you would have at least a few skills to do so? Right? Do you know how to grow, or are you growing something at least? Do you know how to cook with the fire?
How to build shit.
Right? Do you know how to build things with your hands? Do you know how to fish? Or do you know even this is what I was talking to a brother about. Do you even know the types of fish in your area that you would be able to eat? Because we know it has to be lawful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can you handle a conflict with, say, your neighbors, or if someone were to come onto your land and like a shit hit the fan type of scenario?
With confidence and not being scared.
Right? And trust in the Most High, but also have that skill, right?
Yeah.
Because preparation is a prudent thing to do. And I'm not saying you got to go out and be all crazy prepper and spend all your time and all your money on that. But again, like I said before, you have to really examine, okay, how much money and time am I putting into this, and how is this benefiting me? No, it's not benefiting me. Then you need to start cutting back on that, right? If you spend 3-4 hours a day playing video games,
Yeah.
and you aren't learning any skills, aren't learning how to grow nothing, aren't learning anything about self-defense or self-sufficiency, then you really have to step back and kind of put your pride to the side and be like, okay, you know what? I am, as a man, wasting my time, wasting my money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Wasting my youth too, because the majority of the brother, I know the brother Yohanatan, I know the brother Jomar, who else was on here? The brother Troke Boa, me and this brother, y'all, we're all still young, right? Until you're out of that pre-stage, which a priest was from 30 to 50, and then after 50 you become an elder.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're under 50, you're still in that youthful age where you can do a lot more with your body than older people. All right, we just got to make sure we're not wasting that blessing in itself as well.
And I've learned it's really just a priority thing too, to be honest. Cause I know from my own personal experience in times past where I would spend money on things that I would consider frivolous, or it just wasn't worth anything, or it wasn't really important. And then you find out like, okay, you get some more money, you got a temptation to spend it on the same stuff again, but then
Con.
reason hits you and you're like, you know what, let me just go ahead and buy this right here, even if it's a little bit starting out. It's like, it's just really a priority thing. People may claim that they can't do it and stuff, but it's just all about what you really value, bro. Most people value that, processed food more than they do being able to go and pick some fresh stuff because they don't want to actually put labor in.
For sure. And that's like this dude that I was talking to, I had told him, I was growing some stuff, whatever, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking about growing tomatoes, but I mean, I can get them for a few cents at the store, so why would I
For how
even?"
long?
But yeah, that's the point, right? For how long?
How long you gonna be able
But
to do that?
but that's a good point that you're making, like about processed foods.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, if you really think about it, um, we were just studying yesterday about like idols and stuff, um, and if you really think about it, a lot of people, their appetite is their god, right?
Mm,
Their food. When we talk appetite, it can be physical appetite for food, but it can also be like, an appetite you're lusting for women or for men, for sisters. It could be anything. But when we're talking about food, a lot of people, their appetite is their god, right? They cannot fast at all,
mm,
right? They'll start getting headaches. They'll start going crazy. I know of
mm.
a sister that had said that a while back too. Like she fasted from sugar and she literally started having withdrawals, headaches,
Damn,
sweating, everything,
like a crackhead.
right? So that's something that to keep in mind too. Being able to fast in these days, and even if it's like I've said many times before, even if it's intermittent fasting where you eat all your meals within 8 hours, 10 hours. Some people do 12, but if you look at like the research and stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
really want to do 6 to 10 hours in the day. So, meaning, let's say you eat at 8 o'clock, and then you eat at 12 o'clock, and then you eat at 4 o'clock, and that's all your meals. Then the rest of the day, you just drink water or coffee, anything that doesn't have no calories,
Mm-hmm.
because that's basically the key. If you're trying not to trigger your digestive system. So all you have to do in order to do that is don't put any calories in, right? So
I know I do intermittent fasting for the most part. Like sometimes what I'll do, I'll eat like around nighttime, like where we at right now, like whatever time may be. Go to sleep. Obviously, you don't eat while you sleep. I wake up, I go to work, don't eat nothing,
con
pretty much the whole shift, and then I come home and finally eat. That's past 12 hours.
con
You know what I mean? My body is like naturally just trained for it at this point. It's like,
con
but yeah, I agree with you though. Some people just be having withdrawals because they've never done it before. I've actually heard somebody sit here and say, you if you mention fasting from food, they're like, wait, no, you're gonna starve, you're gonna die. Like, no, you're not gonna die if you miss a whole day. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world.
con con and you're gonna feel like that at first. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
like the example I gave when my cousin came and trained with us last week. And you can always do more than you think you can. You got to fight that urge to quit, whether it be exercising or whether it be
Mm-hmm.
with fasting. Let me read this real quick and then get that. Israel, Shalom Aki, Todah Rabbah for the knowledge, much Ahava, much love, Shalom, Shalom. Um, Troke, how do you brothers keep bugs off your crops? We get slugs and all that here.
I use copper. Believe it or not, you still gonna get some bugs on them. But from what I've learned, and I can say this from personal experience, because that's how I grew my kale and stuff like that, and everything else I was growing. If you look into something called electroculture gardening, it actually does something for your crops to kind of reduce the amount of pests that come to it. You still gonna get a little bit of bites here and there, which I don't think it's a big problem, because if the bugs are eating some of your stuff, at least you know your stuff is
It's good.
it's actually
Yeah.
good. It's organic. It's not GMO, but it reduces the amount of pests that come along the way. But it also helps make your crops grow faster. They're healthier and they come out bigger, a little bit bigger than if you didn't use
Con.
it.
And the brother Yohanaton said, I put copper top around the top edge of raised beds
Yes,
to
sir.
deter slugs.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's another witness. And this right here too, it says diatomaceous earth and neem oil. So neem oil and diatomaceous earth, like we both use them
I'm
and
gonna
they
take a
work.
picture of that actually, because I never tried the neem oil. I don't think.
Oh really? I got a
Yeah,
bottle of it if you want to try it out.
yeah, I never tried that.
It works good, but the one thing that it didn't work for me was the what are they called? The something miners. It's bugs that it's called something miners, MINER. Like coal mining, and basically what they do is they get into the leaf, the inside of the leaf, and they just start eating
That little
around.
white stuff you talking about?
Yeah, it looks like veins in the
Yeah.
crops, right? But yeah, neem oil and diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth is really good for ants too. When we have ant piles, was put it on there, and like within 2 days, that's it. They'll be gone.
Yeah, I definitely be getting some ant piles and stuff, so I agree.
Con.
This is Sirach chapter 38, verse 6. And he hath given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works.
So just like we read in Sirach 10 and 30, it said the poor man is honored for his skill. And then here it says that the Most High can give you skill, but again, it's so that he may be honored in his works, right? Because when, say, you learn how to grow a plant, or you learn how to build something out of trees, out of wood, right? In the end, if you're really a man of the Most High, you're going to give all praise to the Most High in the end, right? And it's just like in Psalm 23, right, where David says it's all for the Most High's name in the end, right? You got a precept?
Yeah, so it just going along with the fact of how Sirach talks about the Most High giving people skill. I won't read the long one. I'll read the short version because it said it twice. But this is Exodus chapter 36, and this is why I'm glad I started rereading the Torah again. But it's Exodus chapter 36 and verse 1. This is in context. This was talking about everybody getting ready to bring their offerings and get ready to build the tabernacle of the Most High. But the key is what I'm about to read right now. It says, then wrought Bezaleel and Aholiab and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahweh will put wisdom and understanding to know how to work all manner of work for the service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahweh had commanded. And the reason why I brought this out is because the previous chapter pointed out that the Most High gave them wisdom and understanding to know how to do certain things for a specific purpose. In this purpose, it was for them to, build the tabernacle, carve out stones, and do certain things. But everything applies to today. It's just like Sirach chapter 1, verse 1, where it says all wisdom is with the Most High. It comes from him and is with him forever. And Sirach chapter 11, verse 14 and 15 says everything comes from the Most High. Prosperity, adversity, life, death, good, evil, right? It says wisdom, knowledge, love, all of those things, it comes from the Most High. So the fact that we are all sitting here talking about this right now, and for the brothers who are making the effort to prepare for what's coming, for starters, you wouldn't have that mindset if it wasn't for the Most High putting it on your spirit to begin with. And the things that we're all exchanged right now, the knowledge that we're exchanging on things that we can do better, it all comes from the Most High at the end of the day.
And that's why one of the first verses I ever memorized was Proverbs 2 and 6. It says, Yahweh gives wisdom, out of his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. Yep. So in the end, any type of wisdom we get, any type of knowledge, understanding, it comes from him, just as the brother was saying. Right? But let me see. There was he posted the verse. The Water for posting up the verses.
Yes, sir. All praises.
Malak Marcos, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatamak. Hope all is well with you and your house. Right? So something that is gonna happen, right? And a brother had mentioned this last week, and I was like, man, the precept just popped in my head. He didn't bring up the precept, but he said something, and that I've said many times as well, and it made me think of this precept. I'm trying to find it right now. It's 2 Ezra 16. I'm gonna get the exact verse right now. But basically, what he said was like, what would you do in the famine, right? If you have children and you have a wife, or you have a child, or you have wives, what are you gonna do when they're hungry and there's nothing to eat, right?
Man, that's a good question.
If you think about it, if you really think about it, like put yourself in that position. That's what I try to do a lot of times when I'm doing counseling with people too. Like I'll put myself in that position as to like, okay, I would probably feel like this and think something like this, but then I would want to do this because of these verses say this, right? So try to put yourself in that position and think, okay, how long do I think I would last? How much food do we have to last? How much could we grow to last? Is there anywhere around me where I could go to get things that we may need, whether it be wood, whether it be any type of food, whether it be a lot of people have areas around them where they may be able to get food, whether it be plants, just go walking around your area and see if there's edible plants. Start looking up what plants are edible.
Foraging and stuff like that.
Yeah, foraging. Even your mom was saying, oh man, I would go when this brother's mom came, she was like, oh, I would forage all the time. Like I'll find any type of plants.
Yeah, she don't play.
Right? So like I know here, for example, One of
Parsley.
the purslane.
Yeah,
One
purslane.
one of the things that grows wild around here is purslane and amaranth.
Yep.
Right, purslane. Some people think it's a weed, but it's actually edible. The whole thing is edible, and it grows everywhere.
Amaranth. They got stuff called mango melons or peach vines.
Yeah, or
They got.
peach melons. They call them all different types of names, but they're full of seeds, right?
I think another important thing too, and I think of this personally for myself. I'm not sure if everybody else think like this, but something else I think of as well too for the end times. I think of everything he just said. Like I put myself in their shoes, but I also act like I consciously had this conversation with myself. How long can you personally go as like a person, you're a man, whoever it may be, right, without having food? Like how long can you function and do things that you need to do when you starving and trying to find food? Because if that might have to happen, you know what I'm saying? Which is it's a good reason why you should start fasting every now and then so you can train your body to be able to function when you're fatigued.
Calm, calm for sure. And that just goes along with like I always give examples with martial arts, and it's like I told this brother before. Like when we first started, we would do 3 minute rounds, right?
Yeah, starting
Three
out.
Starting out, we would do like
Man, we
three
doing
minute
10
rounds.
minutes now, ain't it?
And yeah, and this brother would be completely done after like 2 rounds maybe, and then the last one's like hard, right?
Burnt out.
But then after once you've done it, you can be like, all right, let's do 3 5s, and then let's do 3 10s,
Yeah.
or let's do. I think the longest round we did was what, maybe 20 minutes,
Yeah.
one round.
20.
But the point is, you get more confidence by doing something when you know you can do it already, right? And then you can do more. So it's the same thing with fasting, and that's a good thing as well. Like I'm sure the majority of y'all brothers on here have kept at least one day of atonement and fasted for the whole day, the whole 24 hours, right? So you could do at least that long.
This past one was super easy too. Like the one,
Calm for me too.
man. Like I wasn't even tired of nothing. I wasn't tired, thirsty, anything like that. Like I don't even think I ate the day before. Like I just kind of let it happen, and it was a lot easier than the previous one. But like the brother said, you just get used to it more and more.
Calm. If you want to get Second Ezra 16 and verse 68. If you want to read 68 and 69. This is Second Ezra 16, 68 and 69.
It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols."
So this is talking about it in Jacob's trouble, like in the heat of everything, right? And it's saying there's going to be certain people basically taken like into captivity, and the water aqua posting that up, right? So we know a lot of people are going to end up, or some people are going to end up in FEMA camps and stuff like that, okay? And they're going to be, it said they're going to try to feed you things offered unto idols. But notice what it says. It says it's going to take away certain of you, some of you, and feed you, being idle, right? And we know in Sirach it says idleness leadeth to much evil.
You're gonna start having evil thoughts pop in your mind.
So being idle and stuff, this is another something that I've told people, not even just pertaining to this, many times, right? You can't expect to change when a situation arises. You have to change before it arises. So let's say, as an example, me and this brother are training, and just for example, he's getting ready for a fight. And every time we're training, he drops his right hand, or he drops his left hand, and I hit him with the right hand every time. And I'm like, bro, you need to like learn you need to keep that hand up. Would it be wise for him to be like, nah, well, in the fight, like I'll do it, like I'll change it? You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen. So it's the same thing now. A lot of people, whether it be brothers or sisters, but I'm always speaking primarily to brothers, are idle. They're not preparing in any way, shape, or form for the things to come. So you really think you're gonna get, if right now you're being lazy, being idle, you think you're gonna get off your ass in that time?
Oh hell no.
Maybe a couple, very small percentage of you, but the majority would be idle in that situation and wouldn't know what to do, right? Because you didn't prepare for it.
You're gonna be destitute.
So they're gonna try to feed you things offered to idols. Go ahead.
Verse 69. "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision, and in reproach, and trodden underfoot.
And those that consent unto them are going to be put to shame, and they're going to be trodden underfoot. They're going to be basically what's going to happen is, okay, going back to what I was saying before, what's going to happen is when your family's stomachs are hitting their spines and your stomach is hitting your spine because you have nothing to eat and you haven't fasted and you haven't gained skills and you haven't prepared in any way, shape, or form. When you and your family's stomachs are hitting your spine, most people are going to turn to the government.
Yeah, like always.
Okay? And anybody who trusts in the government, right, is going to not be covered by the Most High, because you can only have one master, right? So you can't seek covering and protection and provisions from the government and then expect the exact same thing from the Most High.
Yeah.
And this is why we're telling you that you should prepare before it happens, because it's going to be too late to prepare when it's already happening. Go ahead. I already know what precept you got.
Yep. This is Isaiah chapter 31, verse 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh.
Khan. So they are going down to Egypt. They are trusting in their chariots, their horses, their provisions, their horsemen, their army, right? But they don't seek after Yahweh. Could you read 30? No, 30 and verse 1.
Got you. Go back to 3 after that. This is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe means danger, death, and destruction.
Saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
So there are certain people that are going to take counsel from the government when they say, just come to FEMA camps. We will feed you. Yes, we know there's no food, right? Or there's going to be even other people, maybe some wicked people that, yeah, we'll take care of you, or we'll this, whatever the case may be, right? You're seeking a cover, but it's not of the Most High. Go ahead and read verse 2.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
So a lot of people trust in the shadow of Egypt. They don't think that society is going to collapse, or they don't think it's going to collapse as bad as it's going to. Right? But if you listen or pay attention or watch any of the wealthiest people and see what they're doing right now,
follow the money,
right? Because they know what's going to happen before it even happens. That's how they made so much money.
Yep.
Right? And like I said in the last post that I had made too, if you watch any type of movies or TV shows or anything like that, a lot of times I don't even have to watch them. I'll just see previews of people posting it. Yep. And it's like, oh yeah, that's talking about this.
Yep.
That lines up with that scripture. That lines up with that prophecy.
Yep.
And you can see the things that are coming. Because like I've said before, right? It says, the scriptures say, surely the Most High will do nothing until he reveals his secrets to the prophets. So that is a rule that the Most High lives by. He's not going to leave us blind.
What you always say, I could give you the breadcrumb to the whole loaf.
He's going to let us get hints. He's going to hint at it for us. And then if we're willing to dig deeper for it, then we'll be able to find it. Right? But a lot of people don't want to find it. They'll find a couple breadcrumbs and then they're like, no, I don't want to see that loaf because that's going to show me the truth.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
And then I might have to work for it. Right? But so to sum it all up, right, a lot of people are trusting in the shadow of Egypt. Whether you think it's not going, the society is not going to collapse, or whether you think it is, right? Faith without works is dead. So if you do have faith, that what the Bible says about Jacob's trouble, about the tribulation period, if you believe that is actually going to happen, you have faith it's going to happen, right? So if you have faith, then works should come along with it, because to whom much is given,
much is required.
Much is required. So if he's giving you the knowledge and the eyes to see what's coming, the ears to hear his word and be like, you know what, I see how that lines up with what's happening and it's coming, then much more is required of you in order to prepare for that. And let me also say this. I was going to start by saying this, but I forgot.
Mhm.
Of course, you have to prepare spiritually first. That's what a lot of brothers. Now, the most important thing is getting right spiritually.
I agree.
Of course, it is.
I agree.
We're going beyond that right now. Is what we're doing. I've talked about that with almost every single post I've made over the last 6, almost 7 years of being in the faith.
Mhm.
Right. So of course you got to get out of sin. You got to repent of dead works. You got to put away the old man. You got to get baptized in water and in the fire,
Yep.
etc. But beyond that, and as we do that daily, we're killing the old man daily and still seeking to pass spiritual tests and trials every day. We
Mhm.
should still be preparing physically.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And the the problem is you got no balance with a lot of people.
Con,
I've been focusing a lot on balance, and I've noticed that a lot of people don't have it. They either too spiritual with no physicality,
con,
or they too physical and they ain't got enough spirit.
con,
And neither one of those is the right way to go. You got to have a proper balance.
con. You got a precept?
Kind of, I was just gonna point out uh, what's gonna happen to people that do trust in the government when all this stuff finally does collapse and they're not preparing themselves. This is Isaiah 31 verse 3. It says, "Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together."
Yeah.
Exactly.
They shall all fail together.
Yep.
So basically what it's saying is those that trust in Egypt, which Egypt or is Egyptos, it just means the place of bondage.
Yep.
Okay? We're still in bondage. Most people are in spiritual bondage.
Shit, being
Right?
in a system is a form of bondage.
Con and trusting in them.
Yep.
You're trusting in your bondage. So it says them that are helping Egypt, right? Babylon, America, the system in general.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the system in general is going to fail, and then those that are also trusting in that system to help them is going to fail. They're going to fail together,
Yep.
right? Though hand joined in hand, the wicked shall
Shall
not
not
be
be
unpunished.
unpunished.
Meaning you're trusting in wickedness, you're hand in hand with wickedness, and that's all the way up from a bigger scale, right? The government, you trust in them, they're gonna fail, you're gonna fail. Or that could be on a smaller scale in your household. If you're a woman trusting in a wicked man,
Yep.
if you're a man trusting in a wicked woman, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a brother trusting in wicked elders or camps or congregations,
Yep.
right? Whoever you're hand in hand with, you're gonna end up falling with if they are being wicked,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is why being set apart, being holy, again, is so important.
Sure is, man.
The brother, you want to read that out?
Kind of.
Get a verse.
It's Proverbs 11:1, one of my favorite verses. A false balance is abomination to the Most High, but a just weight is his delight. And the sad truth is, many people have no balance, man. I know it sounds cliche, but it's so important. There's so many different things that people look at as light or small matters in the Bible, but they're really very, very important. Things such as having balance, things such as preparing, things such as having your house in order and getting married and getting covered, right? Things such as getting your temple together. It's so many small things people don't understand. People think it's all about, doing, for example, right? Um, a lot of people I've learned they don't think following wisdom is a salvation topic, but it really is. Because if wisdom is your mama, right, you're supposed to honor your parents, then there you go.
Con. And by wisdom, obviously the whole Bible is wisdom, right? But there are
Yeah.
certain brothers that will only say they need to follow the law, right? So if you show them precepts and say, well, look, this precept over here in Jeremiah it says this, over here
Mm-hmm.
in Ezra it says this, in
Yep.
Sirach it says this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, over here in Paul's letters it says this. Well, show me that in the law.
All right.
And that's their response, and they don't think that they have to follow it, right?
Yep. No balance.
So balance in any way, shape, or form is always going to be important. And that's why, like with this brother, anybody I've ever taught, especially boxing, but any type of martial arts too. If your feet aren't right, nothing is right. And
Everything off.
because your feet is the first point of balance. So especially like in boxing, Muay Thai, any type of striking, you have to have good feet positioning or your balance is going to be off. And after you throw the first punch or first kick or whatever it may be, your
Mm-hmm.
balance is off and you're in a vulnerable position.
Con.
And that's the same thing in the truth. Like if you don't have balance, you're going to be put in a vulnerable position,
Yep.
right? So if you want to get Genesis 41, and let me see, we'll start on. Actually, Salaki, you want to get Hebrews 11 and 6, Baba Kashaw first.
Con.
Hebrews 11 and 6. We're just going to get a few more precepts and make a couple more points and then close it out, right? So let me ask y'all this. There was a brother that did this last week. I think it was last week. Um, what kind of stuff do any of you brothers have stored up? If you want to put it in the comments, what kind of stuff do y'all got stored up? But go ahead, Ak.
Con. This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
So when you're diligently seeking the Most High, He's going to reward you,
Con.
right? And you have to believe.
That he exists first.
Of course, you got to believe He exists. And when you say that He exists, right? A lot of people don't understand this. Then you gotta also, if He exists, then His word is His word.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? His word is His word. It exists and it is true, right? You want to read it one more time?
Con. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
So He will reward you when you're actually seeking after Him, right? So now, a lot of people, and man, I might have to make either a post or a reel or a short video about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people's excuse as to not preparing physically is that they don't have the means to do it. Which look, in one point in time, I was in the same position. I can say that.
Me too.
This brother too. Many people that I talked to before were not in the position to do it. Okay, but this verse right here says that He is a what? A rewarder
Mm-hmm.
of them that seek Him. Okay, Yahushua said in Matthew 7 and 7, if you ask, it'll be given to you. If you seek,
That's the part they don't want to do.
you'll find it. If you knock, it'll be open to you. Okay, so the problem is most people see the reward as something else. They ask for something else. They're seeking something else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, please, Yahweh, I've been doing good. I gave up this, I did whatever, right? Can you please let me get this new car? I'm asking for it, right? I was just telling another brother this recently. I've never owned a new vehicle in my life. Me and my rib were talking about it. I've had about 10 cars, 10 or 11, I believe, vehicles. Never owned a new vehicle because I always thought it was stupid. It was a waste. I know how to fix more or less, smaller things, maybe not the engine or the transmission, but everything else is especially with technology, you could figure out how to fix it for the most part, right? A lot of people are asking, oh, please let me make enough to take this vacation. Please let me, make enough or make the means to happen so I could XYZ. Something that is vain in the times that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Right? They're seeking after things that are vain in comparison to the things that could sustain them
Mm-hmm.
as either as a brother, as a sister, or as a family, especially if you're a brother that has family,
Man.
right? And when you look at everybody, like from the days of old, the patriarchal men and stuff like that, when you really look at it, they were self-sufficient people, right? In every sense of the word, in every sense of the term, they were self-sufficient.
Yep.
Whether it came to food, whether it came to clothing, whether it came to protecting themselves,
Everything.
right? Like me and the brother were reading the other day, Genesis 14:14, I believe, where Abraham went and saved Lot's son, his nephew.
Yeah, he went and saved his nephew. He went and slayed everybody in there.
He didn't call the police because he was self-sufficient.
Yep.
His family got kidnapped, and he was like, all right, I'm getting my 300. Well, what kind of servants are they? Trained.
They were highly trained servants.
They were trained servants. So training is preparation.
Yes, it is.
Right? He didn't call, oh, you know what? Well, if that happens, I'm going to call the police. He didn't do that.
Shit.
Right? When that happened, he wasn't in the spirit of, oh, the Most High will protect them no matter what. The Most High will protect us.
But you got to put the work in for it.
But preparation in any sense of the word is always going to be prudent. Yep. Especially, like I said, if certain brothers have told me with their own mouths, man, Ak, you know, I know it's not a sin, whatever, but I play video games way too much, or I'm on social media way too much. Mm-hmm. If you feel like that, the best way to get over something, it's just like with drugs and stuff, with alcohol, you quit, but you got to replace it with something. Yeah. That's why I told a lot of brothers, like when they're trying to quit smoking, I'll tell them, all right, replace it with working out. Boom. You quit. Every time you want to smoke, do 100 push-ups. Yeah. Right? And I guarantee you after that, when you're out of breath, you're not going to be wanting to you're not going to want to hit the weed no more. Right? Oh, man. So let me see. Church Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Shalom Ak, hope all is well with you. Said waters and bags of nuts. Nuts are a good thing to save as well.
Yeah, nuts are definitely good.
Right?
Peanut butter too.
Khan. Yohanatan said asking amiss. Khan.
Man, that's the first thing I thought of when you had brought up Matthew 7:7. A lot of people do ask for the wrong things and things that are of no importance at all whatsoever. And that's something we can all examine ourselves on as well too. You know what I'm saying? Is when you are asking for something, even if you think it's a necessity, you got to really examine your motives. Because I think it's what Proverbs 16:2. I think it says every way of a man is right in his own eyes. Or no, it's 21:2. I think where it said the Most High he ponders your heart, like he's thinking about what's your motives behind it. Why you asking for it?
Calm.
You know what I mean? So
this is James 4:3. It says, "Ye ask and receive not upon your lusts." Mm-hmm. Right. So when you think about it, a lot of times, and I've said this many times before, I've posted about it, I've given people this advice many times before. A lot of times when the Most High doesn't give you something, it is like the biggest blessing you could receive at that time.
Man, you just don't know it.
You don't even know it, and you're upset about, man, well, you know, I didn't get this, what I wanted, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times it's because you're asking amiss. Yeah. And like the brother said, the Most High knows your motives and your heart behind it as to why you want it. And a lot of times it's so you can consume it upon your lusts. Yep. Right? So sometimes you ask for something and you're asking for the wrong reason. Right? But if you're able to ask the Most High for something like this is a prayer every brother, especially if you have a family, should pray, right? Please put me in the position, give me the ideas, the thoughts, the means, the skills that I need in order to prepare for what's to come.
Help me to prepare the way I need to.
Right? And in a way that I can understand. Boom. How many times have you prayed that prayer? And you don't have to write it, right? But ask yourself that. How many times have you prayed for the ability to prepare the right way, not just for you, but for your family, for your loved ones?
Shit, I've all the time.
Right? So now, is that going along with James 4:3? It's saying sometimes you ask amiss and it's for your lusts. That's actually out of a good reasoning, right? Because you want to protect yourself, your family, or your wives, children, whatever the case may be, right? So the brother said, waters and bags of nuts. Obviously, water is going to be a big thing. Any type of water purification, whether it be the straws, whether it be the tablets, whether it be anything like that, a source of water, if you know where you could get water from, right? And there's a lot of things that would be wise to stock up on, to prepare on and stuff like that. But high calorie things are very good. But this is more for people that live in areas where you're not going to have as many people coming by. You don't live by a bunch of people.
Like if you're in the apartments or something like that, or if you're in the neighborhood neighborhood where your house is shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, you're gonna want to get out of there.
Yeah, you wanna make sure you get some travel stuff, like a bunch of peanut butter or something, and you're some money.
And you're not gonna want to carry a lot of anything that's heavy though, because let's say you have 50. Oh man, I got 50 things of peanut butter. You ain't gonna be able to take even half of that. No. I got a bunch of. I got I got 300 pounds of rice. How are you gonna get that out of there? Right, everybody's gonna see you. Everybody's gonna mob. There's gonna be a mob chasing after you as soon as they see you bring 1 or 2 bags out.
Man, what?
Right. So certain things that are lighter and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, talking about skills, you should know how to start a fire, how to gather certain like tinder and different wood, how to stack them. There's different ways you can stack them to get them to burn. But other than that, matches, right? Lighters.
I got about like 5 different sources of how to start a fire in my house right now that I've been stocking up on. I even got the old school method. I even bought a mirror so I can use the sunlight to spark some shit. Shit, you not.
I got a pack of those. Man, I can't think of the name right now. It's a something lens that you just hold it. You hold it over, like in Sid from Toy Story. Yeah, how he's burning Woody.
Yep,
he had the little like lens thing.
That shit work, man.
I got a pack of those.
I almost burned my hand one time as a kid messing with that shit.
And those are real small too, so those are cool. You could put one in your wallet. Yeah. You could put one in your car. You could put one in your bag, whatever the case may be, and they'll always be there.
Lighters, matches, the big lighters is real good. What's them fire starter things where you scrape it? Yeah.
But now also talking about what are you gonna light though?
You gotta get some wood.
You gotta have some wood. You should have some means,
or at least a knife to carve some shit.
Or some means of electricity.
Cotton do-rag.
To light or what?
Yeah.
Okay, any type of small cloth could start it, right? There's little fire starters that they sell as well. If you have babies, cloth diapers. Right? I don't know how much, hundreds of thousands by now. My youngest daughter is 10 months and almost 2 weeks. I don't know how much money we've saved just by using cloth diapers. Right? And imagine this, cloth pads for women when they're menstruating. I know it may sound nasty, but if you don't have nothing, you're going to want to use them cloth pads.
Reuse it,
right? Toilet paper. You remember how people were going crazy for toilet paper?
I remember, dude. It was going crazy.
Fighting over toilet paper.
I think somebody died over that shit, didn't they?
I'm not sure about that one. Another thing, and I'm going to get super carnal now, y'all. Some ammo at least.
Oh, man.
At least a weapon or two.
Real precious metals.
To protect yourself.
You know, the Most High spoke a lot about brass in the Torah, so that's all I'm going to say.
But let's go ahead and get Genesis 41. Oh, you know what, Salakia? You let go of Hebrews, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to read it real quick if you want to get Genesis 41. Yeah. So we read Hebrews 11 and 6. Without faith, it is impossible to please the Most High, right? For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So he can reward you and he can answer your prayers. According to our Messiah as well, he said, ask and you shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it'll be open to you. Yeah. So again, it depends on what you're asking for, right? And then verse 7, it says, by faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house. So it says by faith, because Noah had faith, he was warned of the Most High. Just like I said, I don't know if y'all saw the reel that I had just posted on this topic, because somebody had said something along the lines of preparing physically was carnal, and it showed a lack of faith.
I will pose the question, like I said the other day, why would if it shows lack of faith, then why did the Most High tell him to prepare it? That don't even make sense.
And they were talking more about now, right? But you would have to then you're implying that, okay, so how is it a lack of faith though if it says by faith Noah was warned of the things he hadn't seen, just like we've been warned of things we haven't seen yet. He moved with fear. So because of his faith, he moving is physical, and in fear of the Most High, because he's fearing, well, what do I do? What's going to happen to me if I've been warned by the Most High and I'm not moving? So it says he prepared an ark to the saving of his house. So he prepared why? So he could save his own household.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So if you want to get Genesis 41, and we could start on you know what? We'll start on 20. We're gonna read through it kind of quickly, just
29.
just so people can get the context of it. Let's start on 24,
Con.
or Shalak, 23.
Con. It's Genesis chapter 41, starting in verse 23. It says, "And behold, 7 ears withered, thin and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them."
So this is the Pharaoh of Egypt, and he's telling his dream, right, to Joseph. He's telling him his dream because he didn't understand it. So he said he saw 7 ears of corn popping up.
Mm-hmm. "And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me."
So he had magicians and all types of different people that were doing witchcraft and what we call brujeria, and
Man had Nostradamus in there.
he had all types of fortune tellers and astronomers and things like that in Egypt, right? We know Egypt is known for a lot of stuff like that. So he told them the dream, and none of them could tell the Pharaoh what it actually meant. Go ahead.
"And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. Yahweh hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do."
So just like it says in Job 33:14 on down, it says that the Most High speaks to us in dreams, right? So Joseph first told him, look, the Most High was showing you what he's about to do. Go ahead.
"The 7 good kin are 7 years. Then the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kin that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine."
So he said those 7 ears of corn, the seven of the kin, is all representing years, and the years, 7 years of plenty, and then 7 years of famine.
"This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What Yahweh is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh."
So he's showing you in your dream what he's about to do.
"Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land."
So he's telling them the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. And notice he said, in the years of famine, all the years of plenty are going to be forgotten. And that's how most people are in life, right? The Most High will give you all these blessings and stuff. And as soon as something bad happens, you forget about all the good he did.
So do. "And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by Yahweh, and Yahweh will shortly bring it to pass."
And that's why, again, in Job 33, it says, Yahweh speaketh once, yea, twice in a dream, but men perceive it not. This is the perfect example of that. He showed the dream to Pharaoh twice. It was doubled to him. Why was it doubled? Because the thing was being established by the Most High. So one thing that I've gotten many questions about over the years is like, well, I had this dream arc and this happened and whatever. And a lot of people, it's like the brother AZL has said before, they're dreamers.
Right? Every little thing.
Every single dream has to mean something so profound and so deep. But then the scriptures say that there are diverse vanities in the multitude of dreams.
And if it ain't sent from the Most High, don't set your heart on it.
Don't set your mind upon it, right? So this dream, it was doubled. He had it twice because it was from the Most High. It was established by the Most High. So if you can't even remember, well, I kind of don't remember. I just remember this and this and this. The Most High isn't establishing it to you, obviously, because he would, if he wanted to get his point across, his message across, he would make sure he gets it across.
And you're not going to forget it. You're going to remember everything about it.
Go ahead.
Verse 33. "Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years."
So it said, let him look for a man that is discreet and wise. So now saying this, or using these two things, right? being discreet and being wise. It's not going to be a wise thing to tell everybody you know that you have 300 pounds of flour and 200 pounds of rice and 500 pounds of beans and you got 1,000 gallons of water, etc., so on and so forth. You got to be discreet about it. You also have to be wise. And what he said was, we're going to find someone who's wise, and they're going to take up the fifth part of the land in the 7 plenteous years. So they were saving, they needed somebody who was wise and could save up 1/5 of all the food in the land of Egypt during those 7 years.
And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine.
So they were going to save up the corn and the wheat in all the different cities, right? So that when the 7 years of famine came, they would have something to eat. This is what's modern day they will call these people preppers, right? Go ahead.
And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the spirit of the Most High is?
So even Pharaoh said, we need someone who the spirit of the Most High is in him, so he can do this, so he can prepare for the famine. Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as Yahweh have showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art.
So he said, you from the 12 tribes of Israel, you chosen of the Most High, the Most High showed you this for a reason. Nobody's as wise as you. We're going to choose you because guess what? The spirit of the Most High is in you.
Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
So the Pharaoh of Egypt said, only in the throne will I be greater than you. You're going to be over my house and over all the people. So when he said only in the throne I'm going to be greater than you, he means you're in charge. I'm just sitting on the throne.
That's it.
Go ahead.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
So if any of y'all have ever seen the movie, or not the movie, the show The Borgias, it was with Cesar Borgia and his dad, Pope Alexander the Fourth. It's based on true stories, and the Pope back then, and even to this day, they do it. They have a ring, and they're like, okay, you come see him. He puts out his hand, kiss the ring, right? The ring represents their authority. So the Pharaoh took off his ring and put it on Joseph's hand. And in throughout history, many rulers did this as well. Their crest or their seal was on their ring. So anytime you make a new law or you send a letter telling everybody, okay, send this to everybody in charge and they're going to make this happen, you had to have that ring so you could put the wax, the candle wax, right? Seal it with the ring so they knew that they actually had to do it. Right, or else people could just be sending fake letters and, oh, this is from the king. Right, so he gave him his authority, the ring off his hand. He gave him fine linen, which was only worn by royalty, by priests, etc. And he put a gold chain on his neck. Iced him out.
Got that boy icy. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt.
So, Pharaoh's riding in the first chariot, and then you had Joseph in the second chariot, and people were seeing him and saying, oh man, bow the knee. He's in charge of everybody.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt.
So he said, nobody can do anything without your permission. Basically what he's saying.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zapnath Paneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
So not only did he give him a ring, a chain, and clothes of fine linen, he gave him a wife, and he went out over all the land of Egypt. So now he's getting to work. He's got to go and start, because to whom much is given,
Much is required. Now
right?
get straight to it.
And he was 30 years old when he did this, which is kind of symbolic because, like I said earlier in the lesson, you have to be 30 years old back in the day to be a priest, because that was the age where, okay, you're a man, you have enough experience to handle certain situations, whatever may come. So at 30 years old, he's put in charge, which is, again, the priest age. Go ahead.
And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid he up in the same.
So he was saving up the food that they were growing. Remember, a fifth of all the food.
And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number.
So he was gathering up all the corn until he couldn't even count it anymore. So they were probably right. Okay, so this is this many ephahs.
Yep.
This is this many pounds, and then it got to the point where it's okay. We can't even number it. Just save it up.
Yep. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for Yahweh said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house.
So Manasseh actually means to forget in Hebrew, right? So the Most High made him forget about everything else, because guess what? He was on the mission, what he had to do. And that's really symbolic, because when you have a mission sent by the Most High, a lot of times you gotta forget about your family. And I'm not talking about your family, like I've said many times before, the family you create is more important than the family you come from. So in order to be really sincere in this truth, you got to be set apart, and you got to be away from family and friends that hold you back spiritually. And that's a big stumbling block for a lot of people. When even our Messiah did that. If you read his account in Matthew 12, I think it's like 46 to 50, where he says, hey, my family is those that are following the Most High's will. Right? Go ahead.
In the name of the second called he Ephraim, for Yahweh hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction.
So we can be fruitful in the land of our affliction, but a lot of people will say, no, you can't.
They say you're under the curses. You can't do anything.
But the curses are for disobeying the Most High.
Last time I checked. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come according to Joseph had said, or according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
So there was famine in all the lands, but in Egypt they still had food.
And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
So now the difference between this and the times we're coming into now is that is not going to be happening.
No, sir.
Because there's going to be a famine. And just like it says in Amos, the 8th chapter 2, there's not only going to be a famine of food, but there's also going to be a famine of the word. So imagine this. Certain brothers or certain elders, congregations, whatever, are telling you to prepare, and you don't listen in that day, then you're going to want to listen, and you're going to want to obey what they were saying, because it's already playing out. Right? Like the example I gave earlier, if this brother was training for a fight and I kept telling him in training, hey, pick up your left hand. Look, I keep hitting you with my right hand every time. And then in the fight, he gets hit with the right hand because his left hand's down. He's going to know in that moment he messed up.
I should have did this.
I should have listened. But it's going to be too late. And that's why when you read Proverbs, the 1st chapter, it says there's an early, it says they will seek me early, but it's going to be too late. That's the times that we're coming into. You got, as soon as the shit hits the fan,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as it happens, you're gonna start trying to seek the Most High. Some people, many people, but that early is gonna be too late, and that's what we're trying to prevent, spiritually and physically.
It's crazy because a lot of people tend to think time don't run out. And it's funny how we talking about this, and it's through the Spirit of the Most High. I just posted something today about the importance of understanding time as a whole, because time definitely runs out. Things always change, and there's gonna come a point in time where the choices that you made or chose not to make, those seeds that you sown, you're gonna have to reap that, and you better hope that it's something that that's desirable for you. You better hope it's something that you enjoy.
Con. And that's why it's very important not to boast yourself of tomorrow.
Con.
Meaning, boasting, anytime you think of boasting, you think of pride, right? You can't be
Mm-hmm.
prideful and think that the Most High is going to give you tomorrow to do what He's already blessed you with time to do today.
What people say all the time, new year, new me. But in our reality, though, right? What did you do with the previous year? I was having this conversation with my rib today. We spent a long time having this conversation. We sat there and reflected. And I would challenge y'all to think about this tonight before y'all go to sleep. But if you were to look back on the Babylonian year 2023, and if the Most High punched your clock tonight, would you be satisfied? Would you say that you're satisfied with what you strived to do that whole entire year?
Con.
That's just something to think about.
Or even the last, just think of the last month. Think of
There you
December.
go.
What did you do spiritually or physically
Yep.
to better yourself, whether it be better your health, better yourself spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
prepare for the times to come, etc.
Who did you know what I'm saying? What kind of work did you put in for the Most High? Who did you help or try to help? You know what I mean? So many different things go into it, but
Con.
a lot of people just don't understand though, man. Like it's a point in time where time runs out, and we really take it for granted most of the time. Like the brother just brought out, don't boast of tomorrow because you don't know if the Most High gonna give you tomorrow. All you got is today.
Con for sure. The brother Yohanatan said we're in the last dispensation of time.
And time only exists where we at. The Most High, where he at, he in eternal. It you know what I'm saying? It don't exist where he at.
You want to get James chapter 2,
Con.
and we'll probably finish with that. But the point that I want to really drive into y'all's minds with Genesis 41 and with we read the account in Hebrews, but it's also the small account in Hebrews of Noah, but also you could read about it in Genesis, obviously, about Noah and about Joseph. They were both warned by the Most High of things to come that they hadn't seen yet. And because they believed it, it actually made them move, and it made them act, and it made them prepare.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were preparing, they didn't care if people thought they were stupid. They didn't care if people called them crazy. They didn't care if there was other brothers or sisters or camps or congregations saying, "Oh man, y'all are being carnal, or y'all are being whatever the case may be." Because that's the thing. When the Most High gives you orders, you're not going to be distracted or take orders from other people when you know the Most High already told you what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to start on, I think it's 14.
Yeah. It's James chapter 2, starting in verse 14. What doeth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him?
So now it's going to give you an example. Okay. If it says, can faith alone save you?
Come. If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food.
So pretend a brother or sister you know comes up to your house and they got fringes on, and you know this brother or sister, and you're like, man, I know that brother or sister. They seem really sincere. I've talked to them many times. They're trying to follow the Most High. Let's say it's 20 degrees outside, and they got on a t-shirt and basketball shorts, and they're starving. Man, I haven't eaten. They're shaking and stuff. Okay, go ahead.
And one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be you warmed and filled.
And are you gonna do that? This brother or sister, they're in the faith. Are you just gonna be like, you know what? I have faith the Most High is going to warm you up and he's going to give you some food.
Notwithstanding, you give them not those things which are needful to the body. What doeth it profit?
How is it going to profit if you do that? You don't give them what is needed to their body, food and a covering, right? If you don't give them food and you don't give them a covering, can you say with a clear conscience, everything's going to be good? I have faith that everything's, you know what? Yes, you're freezing, you're shaking, but I have faith, brother. Go in peace. Go ahead.
Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead being alone.
If faith doesn't have works, it is dead alone without the works. Go ahead.
Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
So like the brother was talking about earlier, balance. This is talking about balance. You have to have faith, of course. Without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. But when you have real faith, the works are going to come along with it. And the example it gives here, like, it's so elementary,
but it's so true.
But
so
it's
heavy.
so, because if you think about it, how many people say they have faith in the Most High, right? In God first, and this, that, and the other. But then they have no works to show anybody that they actually believe in the Most High.
Just lip service.
Exactly. So go ahead and jump down to 26.
Verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
So just like if me or this brother, when was the last time you been to a funeral?
Shit, man. Last time I've been to a funeral when my stepdad died. That's about what, 2018, 2017?
Okay, so could his dead body start moving?
Shit, no.
Of course not. His spirit is gone. Like the scriptures say, when a man dies, his spirit goes back into the hand of the Most High. Okay, so as the body without the spirit is dead, just as dead as a dead body is, your faith, quote unquote faith, without works is also dead. And literally, so if you only have faith, it's dead, right? What does a dead body do?
Sit there.
Nothing. It has no works.
Deteriorate.
It has no works. Can a dead body prepare?
Nope.
No. So when you have real faith, it's going to make you do works and it's going to make you prepare. Again, spiritually first and foremost, but also physically. And if you're hearing this right now or later on, hearing the recording of it, this is your warning and your message from the Most High. We're bringing out scripture showing this. This is not just me, brother Kanan, brother y'all. We're telling you, because we're so wise, that you should prepare. No, it's all throughout the scriptures that you should do these things. When the Most High warns you of something, if you don't take heed to the warning,
it's on you.
The simple pass on and are
punished. And that punishment is not what you think it's going to be.
And again, like I said, you're never going to just from one day to the next, okay, I bought up this many hundreds of pounds of blah, blah, blah. That's an easy and quick way to go broke. You start where you are with what you have, how you can to the best of your ability. And as you go on, if you're praying about it, if you're being obedient to the Most High, you're asking, you're seeking, you will be answered and you will receive it as long as you are serving the Most High.
It's that compound effect, man. You ain't got to get everything all at once, just gradually. The power of gradually building stuff up over time. You're going to look back in a minute like, dang, I'm glad I started when I started.
Because if you, like they said, say the best time to start was like 10 years ago. the second best time to start is today.
Yeah, what is better late than never, but never late is better.
Con.
So and if you, I was just gonna say, if y'all hearing this, whoever hears this after this, if you have that little thought, that small voice that pops up in the back of your mind, telling you, man, I really need to be doing this, and it's putting some fire in your spirit, that's the Most High pricking your heart, trying to convince you and let you know that it's a smart thing for you to do.
Con. He's trying to convince you, but you need what we all need, and I've learned this a long time ago in the truth, is we can tell somebody something, we can warn somebody of something, but nothing will ever change. Nobody will ever put the works in until they're convicted in their hearts, and only the Most High can convict them.
Con.
And like we started in the beginning of the lesson is conviction. When someone has real conviction, it's going to bring a change in their lifestyle. Okay, so somebody may think they're convicted, but they don't change their lifestyle. They don't start making decisions and putting forth effort and works towards changing their life. Then they are not convicted. They may feel bad, they may feel guilty, but conviction from the Most High is what's going to actually get people to change. And that's why if you don't feel convicted on something, you just feel kind of bad, man. I know this is wrong, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
All right.
Then you can even pray for that conviction,
Mm-hmm.
right? Pray for the Most High to remove anything from your heart that is hindering you from serving Him and being a better son or daughter of Him.
And most importantly, pray for Him to help you to comprehend when He's speaking and directing you in these ways, in a clear way that you can comprehend. Because when I first came into the truth and everything, it was a hard time for me to understand or become sensitive enough to know when the Spirit trying to lead me versus when it's just my own mind. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage everybody to actually ask for the Most High to make you more sensitive to His direction.
Khan. So the brother Yohanathan's house, Yohanathan Stephen said, "Bless y'all, brothers. Bless you and your house.
Barakatah, man.
Everybody who's on here trying to live out the scriptures, trying to serve the Most High, trying to follow in our Messiah's example to the best of their ability, in truth and sincerity, and in humility, because you can see the pride on a lot of people that claim to be in the truth, and it's crazy because a lot of these same people, you can tell." Waste resources, right? I'm trying to not trying to get too detailed, but waste resources, time, money, energy into things that are not going to benefit them. And if you have eyes to see, ears to hear, you'll know exactly the type of things I'm talking about when you see them. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish with Psalm 37 and 25. It says, "I have been young and now am old. Yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread." So if you're sincerely following after the Most High, right, and you see the times coming and you see what's going on in the world, whether it be, what's happening in Yemen, whether you see what's happening anywhere and everywhere, really, right, with natural disasters, pestilence, war, rumors of war, all these different things are signs, and they should build up your faith in seeing. I know it does for me when I see certain things, and I'm just like, man, it's like the word is just proven true every single day.
We getting there.
Right? Every single day. But with that faith has to come works. Actually, if you want to finish with that one, actually.
Con. It's James chapter 2, verse 18. Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works.
So from now on, here on out, I'm gonna try to way more than I post or say about, like just writing um little posts, words on my posts. I'm gonna try to show y'all my faith, and I'm gonna start showing certain things that I'm personally doing to prepare, and not doing it to boast or to be prideful or nothing like that. Which no matter what you do, people are gonna think you're going off, say you're going off. Just like Noah building an ark, they thought he was there. I'm sure they thought he was crazy. What are you doing, bro? You know how stupid you look, right? You think you can save yourself by you think something's actually gonna happen? But I encourage all you brothers, especially, to show your faith through your works, right? And you never know, it can be one smallest little thing that just motivates another brother to do the same. True. Right? And it's just like Yahushua said, you don't put a light or a candlestick under a bed. You put it up high so everybody else could see. And from one flame, if I light a candle right now and you got 50 candles around, you could light all those candles with that one flame.
Sure can. Just pass the torch.
Right? You just got to pass it around, and that candle's got to be willing to receive the light from somebody else.
I think that's a really good idea. I definitely have been feeling the same way lately, man.
Khan. So to all you brothers and sisters on here again, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatam. I hope all of y'all are staying in the spirit and preparing spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. This is actually probably the second, no, second or third video I've done on preparing. Last time it was preparing more spiritually, and it said, getting your emotions in check and
Mm-hmm.
things of that nature. Ruling your spirit, I believe, is what I had titled it. So I would encourage y'all to go back and see it if you haven't, because this is, again, like I said, if you're brand new to the truth, you're just coming into it and you're like, man, I don't even know really how to observe Sabbath or the holy days or follow laws or whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
right? This is a little bit farther down the road on that path, but it's never too early to prepare physically. But you just need to know that preparing spiritually is obviously first and foremost, right? So to all you brothers and sisters on there, peace, blessings, discernment, light, love, everything good from the Most High. I
Mm-hmm.
hope y'all are staying in the spirit. Until the next time, peace and blessings to all of y'all.
Shalom.